Welcome to Zestful Aging, where I interview inspiring, fascinating women who are navigating aging with class and sass. I'm your host, Nicole Christina. Hey everyone, I am so grateful for all of the downloads, and I'd love a rating on iTunes and a comment. And please subscribe. It helps the show's rating so other people can find it and learn how to age well. And if you are loving the podcast, why not check out the companion online course, Zestful Aging, Simple and Sustainable Habits for Health and Longevity. You can access it through my website, NicoleChristina.com/Zestful Aging. It's based on the Harvard study of adult development, and I'm really proud of how it's turned out. Well, I've got my coffee in my hand and my trusty dog Sparky beside me, so let's begin. Today on our show, we have Elaine Wolf, who is the director and owner of Life Force Sanctuary. She is a NIA black belt instructor, a psychotherapist, and an expert in mindfulness training. Good morning, Elaine.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, Nicole.
So, do you want to start? I know that you have recently opened your sanctuary, and I saw something online. You took people through all of the rooms and the different things you offered. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that came into fruition? Is that a good place to start?
Sure. I would say it's the culmination of a life journey in relation to making life meaningful and healing from childhood trauma, adult trauma, and loss. And it's just been a culmination, manifestation of a dream that I began to birth about 13 years ago in my being. And it's now come to fruition. And I like to call it life force because that, I believe, is the energy that animates all of us. It's how we know we're alive. And sanctuary, in that I want each and every person to feel safe and sacred. And my main mission is to teach people to feel safe and sacred in their own bodies.
Oh, that is beautiful. Tell me a little bit about how this might look for somebody who comes in who is of a certain age, middle age and over, and they come into your sanctuary. What are the kinds of things that you might offer them, and what are they looking for?
Oh, I love this question, Nicole. Thank you. So most of the people that step into Life Force Sanctuary, and maybe even step into psychotherapy in general, are people who have suffered a loss or have a chronic disease or illness or have been through trauma, right? They come to psychotherapy. And frankly, those are the people that step into my NIA classes. So I am so well adept at dealing with people who feel like they have lots of limitations, lots of fears, and they're trapped in their bodies. And so I offer the movement classes, which frankly I think are the most healing because they are symbolically and energetically shift body, mind, emotion, and spirit in healthy ways. And they empower people to frankly be in their own bodies and become their own experts, their own doctors, and in a sense, their own personal trainers. And they reclaim their whole body. They're no longer fragments walking through time and space. So I'm a firm believer in the NIA. It's helped me heal from literally everything.
Say more about NIA, Elaine, because some people know about it and adore it. In fact, what my experience is if they know about it, they adore it, but not everybody knows what NIA is. Can you just give a little explanation?
Sure, I'll do my best.
Okay.
It's so wonderful. It's challenging to explain. NIA stands for Neuromuscular Integrative Action, and it's a response to the No Pain, No Gain 1980s movement. It's all pleasure and no pain. And you can still condition your whole body and your whole being, body, mind, emotion, spirit. That's why people who want to age well and gracefully and live with health and cherish their health because they've been through something that doesn't feel good, love NIA because they feel their whole being is lit up. Their whole being is considered, and they heal on a cellular level. It combines the dance arts, martial arts, yoga, and alignment techniques. There is no impact, no force. All levels, all bodies welcome.
Wow, wow. So how did you find Nia? Because it is a little bit obscure. Is that okay to say?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people are like, what is that? Is that a Celtic name? Is it a, and it is a Celtic name.
Oh.
It's also a Swahili name that means purpose. A lot of little girls in parts of Africa named Nia, which is actually where they took it from, because with purpose, the movement of Nia is to move to heal, to feel to heal. And so that's the purpose. So I like to say Nia is now I'm alive, or now I am, because I'm in my body and I'm more likely to be present. You know, I found it in the way of really practicing Nia after the stillbirth of my daughter. I was almost full term, and she died inside me, and then I gave birth to her, vaginal birth, which, you know, I'm blessed I was able to do that. My doctor was phenomenal, guided me through that process. But the fact that I gave birth to death nearly killed me, emotionally and mentally. Didn't want to live. And so I'm sitting in, and I had a pretty good life before that. And I'm sitting in a chair for months. And finally, one of my friends just said, I heard of this thing. You're coming. She literally pulled me up, dragged me there. And of course, I kind of kick and scream and fighting, not literally, but internally, I was like, just so pissed off.
Leave me here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I went, and I started to move. And I started to have feel-good sensations in my body, and I started to cry a little bit. And I would stop moving every now and then. And there's certain movements I couldn't do. Nicole, I froze, right? Trauma, loss. And yet, somehow, it awakened other parts of me to say yes to life and to my body again. I hated my body. I gave birth to death. And, years before that, I probably hated my body for other reasons, right?
Of course.
So this was a different reason. But that's how I got into it. A dear, tender friend just trying to help me back to life.
So it sounds like it's so deeply meaningful for you, both because it saved you and now you're able to give that gift to other people who you can identify with.
And for me, I know I entered into it from a very emotionally vulnerable and tender place. As it turns out, it helps clear my mind, decrease my anxiety and my stress. It helped me define my purpose in life. So, I entered into it that way, and now I'm finding like I'm literally a personal trainer. Like, I'm so aware of my body and my joints and my muscles and my ligaments and my tendons and how movement is healing or not. It's helped me heal from physical injury. So it doesn't just have to be an emotional injury. That's just how I entered in.
I love what you said about the no pain, no gain, because I have long been an advocate, and I'm certainly not the only one, but the whole biochemistry of pleasure being so healing. Even, scientists talk about this, it's actually bringing in the pleasure that expands your body, that is health promoting. And when I have clients who come in and say, I'm going to boot camp, I always, that's striking to me. Like, isn't life a boot camp enough? Do you really want to do that to yourself? Right. It seems like the paradigm is more punishment. And, I ate this cake, so I'm going to have boot camp to burn it off. And you're really coming from a totally different place.
No, it's revolutionary. To say I'm going to get in my body and I'm going to treat it well and I'm going to care for it and I'm going to love it just the way it is, great. I was 40 pounds heavier at one point. I don't see me ever going back to that. Ever. Done. I don't need to. Any addictive, like I'm going to eat that half a pie, it's gone. Gone. Because I love my body now. I treat it well. I make choices out of peace, love, and joy for the most part. I'm human. Rather than fear and beating myself up in judgment. And you and I both know, as people who work in this field, psychotherapy, we are wired for pleasure. It's a big part of our brain. And I'm not talking about intermittent, like, woo, immediate pleasure. I'm talking sustainable pleasure. That's what makes the body and brain thrive. Sustainable health, sustainable pleasure, not this, start, stop, blah, 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 all the time. Go for the immediate, go for the immediate. Take away the stress. Oh, let's do it now. Everything's got to happen now. No. Truth of the matter is, you enter into NIA, you're entering into a process, not a final product, a process of healing and growing and feeling good.
And it sounds like a big part of this, you haven't used this word, but I imagine it's a big part of, is awareness. Because many of us, and this is, we can kind of go down this societal thing about what are bodies for. If you're a woman, they're for ornaments and all of this. But the awareness of, as you said, this feels good, that doesn't feel good. Who am I? I'm the expert on myself. Those are themes that I've really resonate with and talked a lot about in my work too.
Wonderful, of course, wonderful.
Yeah.
And awareness is principle 5 of the white belt. It's one of NIA. NIA, we have these intensive trainings. We have a belt system like the martial arts to achieve mastery. And awareness is principle 5 of the white belt. The first is the joy of movement. Choose sensation to sense universal joy. And that's just a connection to health and vitality. Not joy, joy, happy, happy. Because you and I both know that's not natural, quite frankly.
It sounds like, it's interesting because you're talking about what people who are older describe as their happiness is not like, oh, I'm going to the prom, or it's not a win the lottery. It's a deep sense of quiet satisfaction and calm is what people will talk about.
Yeah. A sense of self. And, I firmly believe that needs to happen through the body, which is why all of my work now is shifting to really focusing on movement. Mindfulness and awareness are so important, and meditation is wonderful. And yet I believe moving our bodies energetically in ways that stimulate every aspect, every organ, our entire spine, every system in our bodies is the way to get most mindful. I firmly believe that. And I meditate as well. And I practice other things. I just happen to think this is the most powerful to help people truly connect to their bodies and themselves.
Yeah. And the research really bears that out. If you look at some of the big names, the Bessel van der Kolk and all the big trauma names, they talk about movement. They talk about yoga.
They talk about yoga. I wish they talk about NIA. There's a big difference. Yoga's wonderful. I practice yoga. And I think yoga is hot in this country because everybody wants to calm down. It's a fast-paced culture. And people want peace and they want calm. And they get to have it on a rectangle, maybe 2-3 times a week. NIA teaches you to bring that into your daily life. And NIA is different to me in that yoga is about, I love the peace and the universal peace of humankind and all living beings. Who wouldn't want to embrace that? Who wouldn't want to sign up for that? So I love that. NIA is about unconditional love for self and other. That's the root. And so both are a wonderful combination. The difference for me physically is yoga is strength and flexibility and stability. NIA also provides this element of a continually supple and fluid spine. So you have mobility, you have hydration, you have a cardiovascular workout. You're moving energy consciously through your entire body with both flow and rest. So there's a difference to me. The agility and the mobility of the spine is very unique to NIA. And I've done just about every movement practice you can imagine.
So, I was just trying to think of, it sounds like what you're saying is NIA becomes much more of a life path. Is that a fair way to say?
Yeah, it's a philosophy of living. It's not a religion or anything like that. It is philosophically based in Mayan body-centered principles. I'll just say it flat out. And so it is ancient. We don't toot that. We don't go around telling everybody that. Some people might think, oh, and yet it is. It's body-centered, and that is revolutionary to say, you know what? The body matters, and we know, as women what it feels like to be oppressed by way of our bodies,
Mm-hmm.
right? People of color know,
Mm-hmm.
indigenous people know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's revolutionary
Oh, wow.
to say, get in our body and live from your body.
The other piece of it, I keep bringing it back to the research on living well, is you are doing it in a group of other people. And that's all. I mean, there's just so much going on there.
Oh, I so love that you recognize that. Because what I'm starting to discover, because I'm doing this whole moving to heal practice now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of the whole NIA. I'm a moving to heal apprentice and I'm a move it apprentice. So both ends of the spectrum. But the moving to heal is this subtle, deep relationship with the body. We slow down and back up a little bit. You still get a cardio workout. But what I'm discovering is we are creating the class together. And we're creating this community together. It is so empowering to create a community based on caring for self and other and universal love, unconditional love.
What does that look like?
What does it feel like? That's the question. Feels damn good. It feels peaceful, calm, energizing, all of that at once. Mm-hmm. People, they come and they feel whole, and sometimes they don't want to leave, which is why I'm now creating a lounge living room space, because I want people to have that. Yeah. Right? We need safety and sacred. Yeah. You know, and frankly, for some people, they don't have that in their own home.
That's right.
So this is what I want to provide before I pass on, you know?
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you are just... does it seem like every day there's something new that comes, like, I want to do this, I want to do that? How is it for you in sort of creating this sanctuary?
Well, oh gosh, I appreciate the question, because it hasn't been all, you know, love, love, joy, joy.
Yeah.
But it's just to be able to, it's been a beautiful process for me, you know, the writing of the website. Oh my gosh, was that soul searching or what? That's evolved over a year's time. And it's still evolving and always will. I see my body as a work of art now. I see my life as a work of art. And of course, the Life Force Sanctuary is an extension of that. So it's been a beautiful process. It's also, I'm learning a lot. And of course, it's challenging me in every single way.
How so? Tell me about the challenges, and as a woman who is a mature woman, and what's that like for you? You know, navigating your own aging and some of the challenges of the business.
Well, you know, there are parts of me that I so wished I could have grown up earlier. But, you know, given my trauma abuse as a child and as an adult, you know, it's just in my loss, that wasn't in the cards. But how privileged and blessed I am that I'm going to turn 50 this year. And frankly, I'm manifesting and actualizing exactly what I want. And so I feel blessed with that. The challenges are sometimes the energy level is a little lower than it was when I was in my 30s and 40s, right? So that's part of the challenge, as well as, you know, I'm a mom and I'm a wife, I'm a partner. And so there's all those things to balance. And yet, for me, as a woman, a social worker, and a couple and family therapist, someone who really cares about the health of everybody, and I mean that, I think my main purpose is to do just this. And so I keep marching on, you know, and most days are joyful. And of course, I have moments of serious financial fear and stress. And my husband has been so supportive and wonderful and amazing. And yet, you know, that's a daily question, right? A daily thing, thinking about that and being with that. So what do? Well, in NIA, we have the 5 stages. I could show you sometime. And when that's a 5-minute practice that helps me refresh and renew and reground.
Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in NIA we have this thing. Now it's based on the book Emotional Anatomy, written many years ago.
Okay.
I forget the man's name currently. I just lost it, so maybe it'll come back.
Okay.
But the founders of NIA, Debbie and Carlos Rosas, came up with this healing 5 stages. So it's a movement practice that frankly stimulates your whole body, all 13 major joints of your body and your whole spine. And you get in touch with 5 major sensations: strength, stability, mobility, agility, and flexibility. And it's evolutionary. So it's like you learn to walk again. You get on the floor, you roll around. I mean, I could take you through the 5 stages, but there's these 5 stages. It's basically like watching a child learn how to walk. And it's reclaiming our pre-verbal impulses of really listening to our bodies. Mm-hmm. So for me, if I'm having a really tough day, or frankly, I just need a little more energy, I go into my studio and I practice this. Mm-hmm. And I feel lighter, I have more energy, and I feel calmer. And I have this gift, this from NIA to do that. So I keep moving in healing ways that has helped, that has helped me. NIA's also helped me make much healthier food choices. Oh my gosh, if I had my little addiction on up and down with food and relationship to body, boy, it's so different now. So different. I just look at my fridge and say, what's going to make me feel good right now and be sustainable, like energy-wise? Mm-hmm. That's a whole different mindset than what I grew up with and what I lived with through, to some of my 30s. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I think I had so many questions embedded in there. Hey there, more of the interview in just a second. Now it's time for a quick shameless plug for my Zestful Aging web course and my newsletter, Breathe, Taste, Savor. Hop on over to NicoleChristina.com/Zestful Aging, no spaces, to find out more. So when somebody comes in and is brand new, so we have like a 50 or 50 plus woman come in and say, I heard about this, or I heard you on the podcast, or I saw your website. Where do you start?
Oh, I love this question. So here's one of these things that percolated that I just learned in the process, right? Yeah. So now I do these things called energy coaching sessions. So what I'm finding is so beautiful, Nicole, is somebody comes in and says, let's do an individual time together. It's not therapy. Mm-hmm. We're talking about their relationship to body and life. Can feel like therapy, right? It's one session. And we talk about their goals and how they want to feel about their bodies and their lives. And then they step into a class. Mm-hmm. And their world opens up. So I'm starting now with this. It's so important. I don't know about you, but it's important for people to get our stories sometimes, right? That's why people come to us. Mm-hmm. So I want to hear their stories so that when I'm out there, you better believe I'm tending to what I know about everybody in that room while I'm teaching that class. Mm-hmm. And so now if I know something tender about that person, whether it be a physical injury, emotional loss, a mental, something that's troubling them, I probably stick a little something in there symbolically and spiritually to help them. Mm-hmm. And physically, of course. Mm-hmm. So we develop this intimacy, within a framework of safety and confidentiality. Mm-hmm. So it's that energy coaching or that energy consultation that I think I'm finding people are starting to just love that, embrace that. That feels right to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think about going to a chain kind of gym and taking a yoga or whatever, or a Zumba or something. And I think about how different that must be. That experience is so different than what you're describing. It just sounds so, you've been using the word tender, but it just sounds so deep on so many levels, not just, okay, I got my heart rate up this percentage and I'm a little sore, so that's good. And it just sounds like, and as you've been saying, just a full body experience that you leave there from what I'm imagining. It's just, it's you've been using the word transformative. It's so different than just saying, I got my workout. And you'll hear people like, okay, I got to go work out. Yeah. This is not that.
This flips patriarchal ways of being and knowing to matriarchal ways of being and knowing. Mm-hmm. And being and knowing in a woman's body is in the body. We can't escape it. Mm-hmm. And being and knowing from a process-oriented approach as opposed to a product, achievement-oriented approach is radical.
Wow.
It's a huge change. To fight your body, force your body into some ideal or what you think it's supposed to be, rather than sense just how amazing it is and what you really want to be able to do with it.
So you're also talking about gratitude here.
You better believe it. Every Moving to Heal class, gratitude, and everybody feels it in all the other classes too. But that's the root of the Moving to Heal classes. Learning to become your own self-healer.
Yeah.
and becoming grateful for the universal body and your own body. Body's an amazing thing.
It is I mean, it's so interesting to read about brain science, or we don't know
Mm.
most of what the brain does. We don't really understand the full impact of sleep. We don't really understand all the nervous system and how it works. It's
Mm.
still so new. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I love your
vast.
expression being the expert, because I will often use that in mindful eating. That it's not about, somebody told you not to eat this many carbs, or someone not told you not to eat this many whatever. Your body will know. I need something
Yeah.
green and crunchy now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I so love that. That's part of your contribution. I've heard a lot of people talk about you over the years with that,
Yeah.
and that's what we're talking about. We're on the same
Yeah.
vibration with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It is radical to say you're the expert. It's hard for people to wrap their minds around that, because we have given our authority to people, and some of them come and go, but they're supposedly health gurus or diet gurus or whatever. And
Right.
at the end of the day, I always give the example of, I really got into the smoothie phase, and I was giving myself these terrible stomach aches. And I went to my doctor, and she said, Nicole, you're not supposed to be eating, 10 vegetables ground up for breakfast. That's just not going to work. And, but I was stubborn, and I thought,
Right.
oh, I did the blender, I got the kale,
Right. Right.
and, I was just getting these awful stomach pains. And that's just an example of
Yeah.
how, when your body says no, it doesn't matter what anybody else says.
Exactly. Right. Right.
Mhm.
Listening to the body.
Yeah.
Listening. Yeah.
What's the first step for people who are listening, and they're in this metamorphosis stage of their lives are changing? Maybe they've raised their families. Maybe they're reassessing their partnerships or marriages. Maybe they're looking like retirement's not as far away as I thought it was, and they're starting to really appreciate that there's more life behind them than in front. What's the first step?
Mm.
Based on your philosophy, what would be the first step for someone who really is new to this idea that listening to your body is so important?
Yeah. I say just step into a NIA class. Step into Life Force Sanctuary, I'd like to say.
Yes.
And maybe meet me and tell me your story about, I think most people who come to NIA are 40 and older, because there's an appreciation for life. Again, something has happened that we realize we're not invincible. And, and or our children have grown, and now it's time for us to create meaning in our lives, and capture some meaning before we pass on. And what do we want to pass on? And so, I say just step into a class, see how it feels, experience it. We could talk about it all day.
And then you got to feel it. So for
Yeah.
people who are listening who are not in upstate New York, what would be...
Go to nianow.com. NIA's international. It's in many countries in the world.
Okay.
35 years old this year. And it's all over the country.
Okay.
nianow.com. Find a teacher. Boop. Find a location, and you'll find something.
Do they ever do any of these kind of things remotely for people who live?
Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you so much for asking. Now there's such a thing as called NIA TV.
Really?
So it's niatv.fit. And I think there's a small membership. Well, they keep changing the promotions. So I don't know if first month is free or first 3 months is free right now. But in any case.
Use your name and you'll get the best.
Yeah, I wish, but I don't think that's how it works. Use Life Force. No, it won't work. But you can go on, and I think it's just $9.99 a month. And then you get access to doing routines at home. Now, I like to move in community. I like 3D. I like flesh and blood. I like to sense other bodies and see people's faces. I just believe that's life.
Yeah.
And yet some of us have to do it remotely. Mm-hmm. So that there is that possibility.
Great. How do you pick the music?
NIA does for us, for the most part.
Yeah.
And they have their own sound recording. They have their own sound rights now and everything.
Oh, wow.
And the music, Nicole, I love it because it's designed literally to stimulate each chakra in every class.
You're going to have to
Oh,
explain
by
that
tone.
to
Oh, I
me.
could go on for hours. You really don't want to hear the music theory.
Tell me a little bit.
A little bit. Well, each chakra has, their own sounds. You know that in Hinduism and like Om and, they all have their own sounds, Ram and, So music has each song has their own notes, their own tones within A, B, C, D,
like
F, G, within an octave. Yes. And so, yeah. So we consciously choose music. And now I've crafted 2 of my own routines and I'm on my 3rd. When I craft a routine, I'm thinking about what part of the body does that touch me? What wants to start moving right now? Oh, my pelvis. Okay. 1st and 2nd chakra, let's do. Right? So then I start to choreograph given that, and then I build up. So each song that's chosen, or I should say, no, the series of anywhere between 7 to 10, 12 songs, it's chosen as a symphony, essentially, to touch every chakra.
Is it always
a soundscape?
Is it always in the same order?
No.
No.
However, we do warm up, get hot, and cool down in every class. There's cycles. NIA offers cycles, just like the cycles of life.
Wow. It's so well thought out.
Are you kidding me? It's brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't design it.
Yeah, no.
I'm just, reaping the reward.
Yeah. Well, you're also a master. These are kind of random questions, but like, what's a black belt ceremony look like for Nia?
Oh,
I'm so curious.
So cute. Well, get yourself to a white belt. But anyway, it's the same as every other belt. It's humble, right? So we just get a belt, like a martial art belt with a Nia symbol on it, and we put it around our hara or our 1 point, our center of gravity, and we all throw them up and say yay all at once, right?
Yeah.
And basically we get handed a certificate and the belt first by the 2 masters, the true trainers,
And where did you go for this?
So the NIA headquarters is in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, wow.
And so most black belts are in Portland, Oregon. We now have a trainer in Germany on Christensen who is been given the go to have a black belt in Europe. So, but anyway, so we go there, and then afterwards, after the throwing up, we all put them around our centers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, was it an emotional experience?
Well, you're usually exhausted by the end of one of these things, just so you know. There's 7 days, every single one of them, and there's at least 5 to 7 belts depending on what you decide to do, and yeah, it can be very emotional. For me, there's been an emotional apex at every training. Yeah. And then by the time for the ceremony, it's like, great, good, I'm ready. So it's kind of a different sensation. It's not I'm not like full of emotion. I'm usually full of gratitude and feel honored by the time the ceremony comes around.
Was that an important part as you think about your evolution as a woman? Do you sort of see that as, and then I got my white belt, then I got my black belt? I'm not hearing that as like this big, sort of starstruck moment as much as some of the other experiences.
Yeah, for me, it's all about I love the process. And this NIA has given me boundless creativity. It's also given me my greatest joy. And I say this knowing I'm a mother. My greatest joy is to know, just by looking, I can see and sense when somebody else is healing in their bodies. That is my greatest joy, to witness that and to be a part of it, to know somebody else is feeling good and they're tapping into their own source. And that for me is the greatest gift. So that's what I'm in it for.
Wow.
I'm not in it for these achievement oriented belts. Yeah, there's a part of me that wants to be recognized when you find your purpose. I think it's human to want to be recognized.
Right.
And yet for me, the greatest joy is stepping into class every day.
Wow.
Yeah. It's my greatest joy.
Wow. Do some people use this as training for other athletic pursuits? Like, for example, I talk about my tennis life and my doubles life. And I wonder about all this flexibility, how helpful that would be, of course, in tennis. Is that something people would do? Like, they want to become also better swimmers or better this or
I
that?
love this question. Yeah. Well, if you're getting to really know your body, how could that not improve everything else?
Right.
You become your own conscious personal trainer if you keep practicing NIA. How could that not improve your tennis game, your golf game, your swim? I have an avid, you probably know her, I won't mention her name right now.
Okay.
I have an avid tennis player who comes literally 4 or 5 times a week class.
Really?
She comes to both my NIA and yoga. And now we're doing this floor play routine for the chronic pain and inflammation class. And, I got a lot of people with cancer and autoimmune in that class. And she comes up and just says to me, Elaine, I played the best tennis I've ever played in my life after the floor play routine, sensually and consciously moving our bodies through space and time and gravity, with gravity. And you don't get hurt. There's no pain. And she went out of there with so much body awareness and consciousness and moving from her center. She nailed it. She felt great.
It's
so
a
yeah.
whole different.
Now, would I love that to grow? You bet.
Okay.
Have I taught dancers at the Ballet and Dance Center for years? Yes. And what's the feedback I get from them? You teach me more about my body than anything else. And I don't mean to make that about me. That's Nia talking. That's not really me. I'm just
I understand.
a guy. So, but I just have I have somebody at the Boston Conservatory who comes back on break because she wants to learn more about her body and take it back to her practice of dance. Modern dance is her profession. So, yeah, I think it can help anybody improve anything athletically. Yeah. In NIA, we like to think of ourselves as sacred athletes.
Oh, I love that. Sacred athletes. That is something else. Any last thoughts, Elaine, as we wind down? You have totally educated me on NIA. I thought I knew about it, but there's so many parts of it. It sounds so beneficial on so many levels, and I can imagine it being a great adjunct also to psychotherapy. The kind of work that I do with people.
Yes.
Any last thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, I just want to share one thing. Thank you for that question. I talked about the difference between matriarchal and patriarchal. And I want to just say that doesn't mean men and women. Because I know we all have masculine and feminine within us. And I just want to say there are a lot of men stepping into life force, sanctuary, and starting to shed tears and move their bodies. They need it. They need it. I see it. I feel so honored that men are stepping in. So please hear, I am not saying this is for women and not men.
Oh, good. I'm glad
please
you
hear
clarified that.
Oh, I want men to be able to feel like they can express themselves, treat their bodies kindly. I mean, that's radical for men.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I just want you to hear that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really helpful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your passion and, oh my goodness, just lovely stuff, wonderful information about NIA. I am going to put the link to Life Force Sanctuary on the notes. Where is the best place for people to reach you, Elaine, if they want to hear more or they want to come talk to you?
Well, there's a phone number on the website. So the website is lifeforcesanctuary.com. That's a great way to reach me. You can also email me. You can contact me from there, and I'll get your email and can get back to you. And the phone number is 315-434-8803. So there's those ways to contact. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm sure you will be hearing from some of our listeners. So thank you so much for coming. It was really lovely to hear. You practically levitate when you're talking about this. It's so nice to know that you found this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us on Zestful Aging. Please subscribe, comment, and rate me on iTunes. I love those 5 stars. Like and share. Those actions help other people find the show. And I love to hear from my listeners. Send me an email at NicoleChristina.com and tell me what you'd like to hear more about. Want more zest? Head over to NicoleChristina.com/zestful aging, no spaces, where you can find my companion online course, Zestful Aging, Simple and Sustainable Habits for Health and Longevity. See you next time for another episode of Zestful Aging.